jumping into the game right away. The match has already started. It is game number 5 in the best of 5 series. The final game. The winner of this map is going up against 4GG in the semi-final here at the ASUS ROG. And starting to the bottom right, we have the Protoss player for Team Mousesports in blue. It is Deer. And he is definitely in a series where he has to really work for his victory there. Starting to the top left, we have his Terran opponent. It is Apocalypse for IBD Gaming. Having a great tournament here, doing a great job so far. Always coming back into the series. Absolutely impressive how he performed so far today.
Yeah, I feel like he's really evolving during the tournament. And that's great with these tournaments where you get a lot of maps to play. ASUS ROG electing to use the best of 5 system for both their group stages as well as their playoffs. I felt it myself too. You start a tournament and you meet a player. He's very strong, you have a close match against them. You play more players of the same race, and every time their skill gets ramped up. It gets harder and harder because these players, they've also left a sea of bodies behind them as they destroy nerds left and right. It keeps getting harder, but somehow you're still keeping up with your opponent. How is this possible? It's because you're evolving during the tournament, and it's really cool to see.
Apocalypse is a little bit like the German football team. That's exactly what happens to us every single time. You just grow with the challenge, and that's what he's showcasing here. Great games yesterday, always improving a little bit, going from group stage number 1 into group stage number 2 today. An even stronger Protoss player that he's facing, and he's really able to make a showing here. And now, if he can actually win this, it would be such a major upset. It would be great for him, going in Terran versus 4GG. It would be a completely different matchup. I don't think we had a Terran versus Terran so far, so that would be quite something. But for now, on Daedalus Point, scouting information is, of course, everything. The SCV already at the bottom right, trying to find out what exactly Dia is doing here. He wants, of course, to see, is there one gas, is there double gas right now? What is the Protoss player up to? Especially on Daedalus Point, there are so many weird builds that he can run into that scouting is just simply everything.
So I missed the fact that he made the gas right after the gateway without starting additional probes, but now that I see the build, that's exactly what he did. Otherwise you're not able to afford the Mothership Core and Stalker right away at the same time. Again, the eBay block, which isn't very useful against this build, so I have to question that really Apocalypse maybe should put some training time into recognizing those timings. This time the Mothership Core will abandon the Zealot to its fate because he knows Buddy Stalker is coming out. And if Deer moves his units right across, he will arrive well before the bunker finishes once again.
Yeah, he's not really moving out with the Stalker just yet, but the Mothership Core is already on the way. As you already said, there is no bunker, but we have back at home the second barracks ready.
This is very strange. Well, one probe goes down there. That's a great job by the Reaper. I find it strange that Deer doesn't move right across the map, but what is also strange is what Apocalypse is doing. No command center, guys. He's not going straight for an expansion. He's treating the map as what it is, an anomaly. He's getting 2 barracks and starting Stim. This is straight from Wings of Liberty times, back when Pulse was first starting to beat MC.
Yeah. That is something that we've seen a lot on maps like Ohana as well. So long time ago, but for now we really have... The problem that you have on this map is just defending your natural, since there is such a massive ramp at the front, and for a Protoss player that means lack of force field area. For a Terran player it's really difficult to just make this wall work with bunkers at the front. Yeah, you have so much space that you need to defend. And Dia now trying to apply some pressure here and forcing, of course, repairs at the supply depots, but we have that bunker now ready, and that means that the Terran player will be able to defend. The Mothership Core already saw what's happening in the main base of the Terran player, and back at home, the Protoss starting his Twilight Council, about to complete that, and we will see that blink upgrade.
I think that's for DTs maybe, because he saw a 2-rax. Let's see if I'm right or not.
You're actually right. It will probably be a Dark Shrine. The probe is already in position, just waiting now for the resources. And at the same time, we have a Time Warp being dropped here. And can he take down a few more units? No, not quite. Apocalypse able to move out there, but he is indeed going up against the Dark Shrine build.
Yeah, because back when Terrans were always doing 2 barracks, and of course there was no Mothership Core back then, Wings of Liberty, the predecessor of StarCraft 2 Heart of the Swarm. But back then when they were always doing 2 barracks, they were very aggressively oriented. They delayed their command center by a lot, just to launch a very quick Stim bio timing without medevac. So a very early one designed to take out the Nexus. One thing they sacrificed is that energy on the orbital commands. Because they only had 1 of them, they were using all of it in mules so that they could abandon, so that they could actually afford all the bioproduction. DTs were a great answer because there was not enough scan to defend, and that's exactly what Deer is falling back on. A highly adaptive game here by him, intelligent game by both, trying to make use of each other's strategies as well as the map. And let's see what's going to happen now. Stim is finished. We have the Mothership Core. The Mothership Core died, so there will not be a Photon Overcharge. It will be completely up to the Dark Shrine to try and make something happen.
And if
not for that, Apocalypse will destroy this army now.
Here comes the Mothership Core, but no energy for Photon Overcharge. The Dark Shrine is not done just yet, and Apocalypse is moving in, taking down 2 of the Stalkers already. Stim is going a long way here. He's about to snipe a 3rd Stalker, and that's exactly what happens here. He does so much damage already. The probes coming off the mineral line to help out and surrounding the few Marauders here, but so much damage done by Apocalypse.
Yeah, granted, he only killed units, and if we look at the units lost stat, it's rather equal. And then we've got no second base finished yet. Well, it's just about finished for Apocalypse, but he has 10 workers less. Even before the DTs came out, that was a questionable trade at best.
He wanted to do more damage there.
Yeah, maybe kill some workers.
Exactly.
As well as killing the army.
And here comes the DT right now. That's something that Apocalypse didn't even see when he moved into the main base. Oh my god, he doesn't have the energy to use anything else here. He has no chance of scanning. Well, 1 scanner in the main base apparently. Even with the mules that he called down, he had enough energy for 1.
All right, that is fortunate for Apocalypse that he just had enough energy there. The second DT comes in here, though, right as that one went away. No energy right now. The turret will get cancelled. And he has to pull again. Yeah,
that DT is going to have a field day here. I mean, he's going to have such a great time. Already a lot of mining time lost at the natural here. The SCVs are just trying to run for their life. Dia is taking a supply lead, and it's going to take quite some time for the Terran player to get enough energy out there for a second scan. He's still waiting.
Yeah, it will take him half a minute from now. And he doesn't want to wait half a minute. He knows he will be immeasurably behind, and he's just pulling his SCVs. I'm not sure the DT even saw that. I'm pretty sure actually he didn't. So a very, very last-ditch effort from Apocalypse as he feels like this game is slipping from his grasp.
You know, Dia doesn't really have a whole lot. He has 19 army supply against 33, and that doesn't even account for the SCVs that Apocalypse is currently sending across the map. He scouts them now, but what is he going to do? He's going to warp in a few DTs. Photon Overcharge is also going to help out, but that's a huge amount of units that is currently coming his way.
I feel like he should just click the Nexus, ignore the army. He cannot waste time fighting the army. He's got to take down the Nexus, but then not really enough Marauders to do that either. And every time a scan runs out, a new DT will be warped in. If Deer can buy enough time, the DTs will do some work for him here.
DTs in the main base once again. I don't think he has enough energy for another scan left. That means he will lose everything here. He's trying to snipe the tech for now. There comes another scan, taking down a DT. He had enough energy after all. Another Dark Templar being warped in immediately. Those units are already about to die. Dia is taking a lot of losses, but he's cleaning up the entire army that we see there. In terms of resources lost, both of them are so even, but it's the Harvesters. We see 10 SCVs against 32 probes. Dia is in such a commanding economic lead against his opponent now.
Yeah, in the midst of all of that, the DT was assaulting the supply depots, which were part of the original wall-off. Killed them all, even killed some units there. And exactly what we predicted, Deer just warps in a DT every time right outside the scan range, and that means every 15 seconds Apocalypse needs a new scan, and he simply didn't have enough energies on his orbital commands, showing why DT is such a great reaction against an early 2 barracks.
And now, of course, Dia is in such a great position. 63 overall supply against 31. Funny as it is, both of them killed exactly the same amount of Harvesters, 24, but the DTs now roaming the map will be able to just do a whole lot against Apocalypse army there. And there are only 17 Marines. That is all that he has. And against DTs, against Photon Overcharge and Colossi of all things, it's not going to work out for him at all. He's down to 20 supply right now against 70. This is game. This is Dia going up against 4GG in the semifinal. GG being called. Dia wins the best of 5 series and then finally putting an end to Apocalypse's win streak against Protoss.